very excited. 86 This has arrived. Let's hear it, guys.
Hey.
Yeah. I am your host. My name is Jim Casio. To my right, Bill Monaco, a local lawyer in town and also part of J&B Restaurant Partners. Tiki Joe's, Gatsby on the Ocean, which is everybody knows here on the East End. Chef James True, right across from Mates. James, thanks so much for being here. From 4C's Catering. Frank Henderson, we're still trying to figure out where you're from. Triple B, you're going to be known as Triple B. But I'd like to thank you all being here for our first podcast taping, which is going to be very exciting, I think. Hopefully you all have something to say. And the three people who are probably going to listen to this are going to really love it, I think.
One of whom is in the room already.
Yes, we do have an audience as well. Just so you know, 86 This, for anyone who's not really familiar with 86 This, it's a term that we use in our restaurant industry that is very well known. It's embedded in our brains because people like Chew yell it out in his kitchen on a normal basis. We're 86 salmon, we're 86s. So Chew, why don't you elaborate a little bit more about exactly what that meaning, since you created it.
86 This means we have no more. Don't order it again.
Right, so that's not exactly what it means here. But as a whimsical kind of name, we thought it'd be cool and it'd be recognizable for all our hospitality professionals out there. Because I know you're out there, and I know you're going to be listening, and I know you're going to love this. And by the way, you're all going to be able to respond to anything we talk about, and we'll be able to see your comments. Going forward with 86 This, what you guys can expect is over the next coming months, we're going to be able to do call-ins and answer any questions that you're going to have probably within the month. We're going to have live podcast streaming either from our 86 This studios here at La Buena Vita, or we're going to be able to do it from the restaurants live at that moment, which will be really cool at that time. And then we're also going to be doing restaurant reviews also on all the restaurants in New York or wherever we end up going this summer, on boats or wherever it might be, or on planes, wherever it might be. We decide to just, if we like the place, we're going to review the place.
Let's start with Buena Vita.
I love Buena Vita is very good. Actually, we had the food here tonight, didn't we not?
We did. It was awesome.
Yeah. Tom Freck is the owner, and Chef Luis Nunez is chef and owner also of La Buena Vita here in Mauritius. Right on the water, beautiful catering. They got a catering for 150 people, but they all have to sit with masks. And and it's a really wonderful world that we live in now, and which leads us to our topic, which is what 2020 has done to our industry and where it's going to take us now in 2021, because there's some good things that happen and some bad things that happen for everybody. Obviously, the restaurant world is taking it on the chin. All the restaurant employees, who everybody knows is out on unemployment, they're looking for jobs. I know they're trying to be helped as much as they can from all different aspects of the world. The National Restaurant Association, Barstool is trying to help some restaurants out there. Hopefully we'll get them on maybe in a couple of weeks to hear their take on some things, which will be really cool. Chew, I know you've been feeling it at Pelham Bay Split Rock Golf Course. They haven't been open since March, right?
Yeah, we couldn't even serve a sandwich.
Yeah, it's been a little rough go for it. And Bill, who is also part of J&B Restaurants, which is Tiki Joe's, all the Hampton Beach properties, and also Gatsby on the Ocean, which is one of the most incredible properties on the ocean, Jones Beach, and their catering has been just crushed.
Oh yeah, we lost the entire year essentially.
It's been a little bit of a rough go, but has been some positives. You know, there's been a few things that everybody was able to do that they don't usually do. You know, you get to spend time with your family, which is good and bad, and I guess in some people's eyes. You got to, you know, it was really funny. I remember when I was sitting at home and I said, where do we get all these flowers on the front lawn? And they're like, you're just never home to see the flowers on the front lawn. So there's a couple of things that are, you know, good things that came out. You got to spend a lot of family time, a lot of quality family time. We got to create a podcast, 86 This, which is really going to be really cool, and which everyone can also see on 86this.net. But as far as going forward, I think you're going to see a lot of changes in our business, I believe, going forward. And contractually with catering, which has been turned upside down for the consumer as well as the person who's doing catering also. So you have people out there who booked weddings who had to put them off, lost people in the interim. So, they're planning weddings around people who might have sicknesses or they're ill, and all of a sudden they have to change dates, and people are passing away, and now they're missing those dates, and now they're trying to rebook them, but now they're rebooking them and they're getting new contracts, which now pandemics are now part of a contract if you're doing any type of catering, which has been, you can look at it in two ways. As the banquet operation, which obviously they're covering their butts. They want to keep their money. They don't want to be giving all these deposits back, which is in the millions at this particular time for catering. And then you can look at it from the consumer point of view, who is trying to get out of them until everything is figured out and the world opens again and the world is back to normal, and they can't get out of their contracts now and they can't figure out what to do. So I don't know if anybody wants to comment on that. I know, Bill, you probably have done some background work
on both ends. We have, like you mentioned, the caterers now are becoming more, kind of pandemic sophisticated, and providing in contracts provisions for what happens if something like this happens, or things that we previously unforeseen. But also the general public is getting much more savvy. They're all gun shy in setting up their events. Then they want outs, clauses that allow them to escape. And from what I've seen, I have both hats. Obviously, I'm involved in the catering, but I also, as a lawyer, I've helped a lot of clients with situations where they've had, these events that had to be canceled. And I have to say, by and large, across the board, most of the caterers have been very, very cooperative.
Yeah.
They've been working with clients. As long as they want to reschedule the date, I have not seen a caterer yet say, no, we're holding you to this hard and fast provision.
Yeah, and I agree. I think I see that same thing. But do you think people get it? Do you think people get what's actually going on? And it's making me crazy, and I have to bring it up, and I'm sorry, just to get off the subject for 1 second. Like, I take phone calls every day of people who seem like they don't know what the hell's going on in the world right now. And you're like, where have you been for the past year? This is a year. Yeah. We've been doing this for a year now. So it's like, this is not like it just happened a couple of weeks ago and someone said, oh, you're not allowed to do this. You can only have 10 at a table. You got to wear a mask. It's mind-boggling. I get a phone call today. So they want to make a reservation. How many people at the table can we maximize at the table? Okay, well, it's going to be 10. Well, we want to have 20. Well, no, it's 10 at a table. Well, can we do two tables of 10? I go, well, it's two separate reservations. And she goes, okay, well, can we be sat next to each other? I go, not really. I said, there's no guarantee we could do that. Very busy day. Okay, well, and I go, and you have to stay seated. Anytime you do get up, you have to wear the mask and only to the restroom. That's it. You mean we can't get up and I can't talk with my friends? It's my birthday. So do they not get it? Are they not getting it?
It's not that they don't get it. I mean, most people, they're not living under a rock. They get it, but sometimes the rules are so ridiculous. And we were talking about this at dinner. I don't have to agree with every rule. They just have to make some sense, and not every rule makes sense. Yeah. So folks are having a little bit of pushback to say, okay, look, if I'm standing at a high top table or I'm sitting at a high top table and I'm eating and I'm drinking, I'm fine. I don't need a mask. But the moment I stand up, a bouncer runs over and grabs me and says, sorry, sir, you have to put on your mask.
Absolutely.
Well, what changed about what I just did? So, folks are understandably, I get the legislature, I understand it. I wouldn't want to be the guy making the decisions. Certainly not. And Monday morning quarterbacking is easy for everybody. But, some rules just simply don't make sense. And that's what you're getting pushback on. You're getting customers who are saying, I just don't get it. And I'm frustrated and I'm done with this, etc.
Yeah, and you want people to go out and have a nice time. Like, the goal is we're living in the movie Footloose right now. You can't even promote DJs. You can't have a DJ. You can have music. They don't want you to promote it. You can't dance. You can't get up from your table. you have to wear a mask and you have to stay put at all times. And I get it. People want to have a good time still, and they're dancing. They're figuring out how to dance on chairs without actually leaving the chair, which is kind of cool, I guess. I guess if you're looking the pluses of that come out of the pandemic, everyone's getting really good at chair dancing. But you want them to have a good time, and you get the frustration. They can't go out past 10 o'clock. Well, now it's 11, which, wow, we got an hour. How cool is that?
Yeah, let's again point out a ridiculous rule. And, I mean, I understand the genesis of it, but I mean, the reality is, really, I mean, you're going to make restaurants stop serving at 10 o'clock, not even stop serving, kick everybody out at 10 o'clock. It means you have to stop serving, let's call it at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
All it's going to do is concentrate all of your people in the 7 o'clock range. So the net effect is contrary to, I think, what you were trying to get accomplished, and that is, space people out, etc. So again, I know these are tough decisions to make, and it's easy, to look back.
But policing this is
it's
hard. It's really super hard. It's
hard, and sometimes can be heavy-handed. I've heard situations where folks that were trying to enforce the rules were very cooperative and very cool about it, and understand the restaurants and the issues. And weren't that kind of heavy-handed about it. And I've heard the opposite also. In certain circumstances, when people came in, there was like nobody in the restaurant. One dishwasher in the back without a mask on, and they got fined.
Oh yeah, no, that just happened actually in Patchogue. Because now it's not. We want to show you how to be effective at keeping everybody safe, which it was in the beginning. So wear the mask. We want to make sure you're doing everything. Make sure sanitizing stations. It's now they're coming in after the restaurants. Now becoming an issue for the restaurant owners who really have gone above and beyond, spent a lot of money to get all this stuff done and to abide by CDC, the state, and everything everybody wanted to do. So, but again, I go back to, do you think people are, every time a rule changes, it seems like everybody's brain gets sucked out of their skulls. So it goes to 11 o'clock. I get another phone call. So I hear you guys are going late. I go, no, we're not going late. Everyone needs to be out the door by 11 o'clock. No, I get it, but I heard you're going late. No, 11 o'clock, everyone needs to be out of the building. So if I'm having my last drink, what time can I have my last drink? This is the conversation I'm having, and this was just a couple of days ago. It's like not even a joke. So, well, you can have last calls at 10. You have to pay your bill by 10:30, and you got to be out by 11. All right. So, but what if I want to order a drink at 10? It's like this is going on and on. But this is a real conversation. And it's not my first time having this conversation. I have this conversation often. So I think, I don't know if nobody's paying attention, if nobody sees what's going on the news or whatever it is, but I have these conversations, and including with catering. I had a woman tell me today she's not having her daughter's 25th birthday party at the facility because they can't get up and talk with each other. I'm like, I'm really sorry. I don't think they're going to be able to have an event anywhere to be able to get up and mingle. It just doesn't happen. But listen, I know I went on and on about this, and I'm beating it to death. It's just really one of these annoying things that makes me crazy throughout my day. But getting back to the catering, I agree, Bill. I think all the catering halls have really, I think everybody has gone above and beyond and bent over backwards to try and make things happen. They don't want to lose business. They lost so much. They lost so much money already. So as far as I could see, I think everybody's doing a really good job at this particular point.
Well, where do the catering halls go from here? I mean, will they bounce back to where they were, or they have to do like I did and reinvent themselves? Where do we go?
Well, check this out. Good thing has actually happened. Okay, a lot of these restaurants are now able to have an establishment in the parking lot, which was unheard of. You could even do it before. And if you try, you need a permit. All the red tape. You get shut down. No. Now they popping up left and right. My thing is, okay, because the red tape is out of the way right now. Okay, set up outside because we're only at 25%. I would make another 25% outside in the parking lot, just like Fridays are doing on 63, just like Blackstone's did, just there. He did a whole, I mean, it doesn't even look like a tent. It looks like he actually had it on, even
Yes,
though it had a little.
Frank was at Blackstone's.
As a tent.
That's for another conversation.
So he again took the COVID, said, okay, you don't have to shut me down at 25%. I'm going to create another 25%. At least it'll get me at 50%.
Sure.
You know, to make up the extra month. So in a way, I understand for owners, everybody hurting, but it also opened up doors where it just wasn't going to happen ever.
Yeah, let's hope they stay. You know, that's
that is true.
Yeah, your point, I think, is, you know, it hopefully it'll stay that way. And you know, hats off to a lot of the municipalities that were otherwise really restrictive.
Right.
That during this really stepped up. I'll give you one great example that, you know, is near and dear to our hearts, and that's, you know, like Ocean Beach, Fire Island.
Yes.
You know, they were like always the land of no, and always difficult, you know, to get anything done. And lo and behold, in the middle of last summer, they stepped up and let all of these establishments that had very little outside dining, if no outside dining, put, you know, on the lawns in the middle of town.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
You know something?
You couldn't walk around with a slice of pizza in your hand.
That's my
But
point.
now it's like all of a sudden, okay, you know,
Everything is good.
Again, hats off to them. I mean,
Right.
they were always a restrictive community, and that was their thing, and they prided themselves on that. And but they saw a problem and said, you know, we're going to help out our local establishments. I hope it was enough to keep some of them alive.
Now you were there a lot this summer. Now you frequent Ocean Beach, and any talk about them shutting that all down when?
No, you know, I'm not, you know, some friends over there, restaurant owners, and I have not asked them if they think that that's a permanent thing. I would predict that it's probably not. Unlike some of the other establishments, maybe on the mainland, that may be able to do that going forward, and might, you know, be able to drag a positive out of this thing.
Right.
I don't think Ocean Beach is one of those communities that once things resume, that you'll be seeing people on, you know, chairs on the lawn or anything like that.
Yeah,
but they did do it temporarily.
It would be pretty cool though if it just set a whole new tone for Fire Island. I mean, it would be amazing if you think about it. Maybe we can hit some people up over the next couple of weeks and get them on and try to talk to them and see what their thinking is. That would be kind of cool. But Chu, in answer to your question, I think catering, my opinion, is going to be affected for a while. I don't think you're going to see this mask mandate and this large group. Yeah, I don't think you're going to see it. I don't think you're going to see people dancing in large groups in the middle of a dance floor, including nightclubs. I don't think you're going to see that for a while. And yes, I think they're going to extend the hours of operation. I think that the occupancy is going to go up to 75, might even go up to 100. But I think that whole mass gathering of dancing, I think that's going to be where the line is going to be drawn for a while. You know, it might be this summer. Where it leads catering, it might be everybody needs to take a seat. And that's I think events have to happen. You have to have events happen. I do also take phone calls of events who they understand. You know, it's not just always I don't get it. A lot of them do understand. And they're like, look, I just need to have a communion for my son. We're having an engagement. We just got engaged. So a lot of people do get it. But I think that's going to be the norm for a while. And I think it's going to be longer than what everybody anticipated. But for the dancing part, you know, I think events have to happen though.
Yeah, and you're right. The like nightclub atmosphere where you like
shoulder to
shoulder,
sweating and spitting on
late night. You know, I love you, man. You know, in front of each other's, you know, everybody's faces. That's probably going to take a little while longer to come back.
Yeah.
The dancing at the events hopefully will come back sooner when everybody starts getting vaccinated. I don't know. It's tough to gauge.
Well, I don't think that 4 o'clock is ever going to come back.
Why not?
I think the max 12 o'clock.
And you know why, Frank? You know why? Because it's now been established that you can maximize so much potential at a certain time that nobody tapped into, that people are now tapped, which is, and well, let's name a few: brunch, which is now one of the biggest things in the country right now. Brunch is huge. Also, ghost kitchens. Ghost kitchens are going through the roof. And this is, again, another thing that really pisses me off, is all the wonderful platforms out there. And I won't name them. Everybody knows them. They're all out there because we order from them when we want to get takeout. Have now opened their own ghost kitchens, and which is sad because they kill the restaurants with all their